Hey YouTube, I just wanted to come on and give you a life update and what I have been doing as far as my ministry. As many of you know, I think the last time I posted was when I was going through my cancer battle. And I wanted to let you guys know that I am cancer free, praise God. Every day I just diet, exercise, everything I can do to stay cancer free. I do that. But I wanted to come on and give you guys an update because God has shifted my ministry. A lot of you know me by my end times dreams and visions. And God had spoken to me back in 2022, and He said, Melissa, I am going to be shifting your ministry and shifting your purpose. And back in 2022, I didn't know what that meant. But for many of you who might follow me on Facebook, you guys know that I was in a very bad marriage for a very long time, 17 years to be exact. And my ex was a covert narcissist. And while I was in that relationship, I was not loved. I was not adored by him. There was little to no intimacy in that marriage. Those of you who know me back then know that I dealt with a lot of health issues even back then. The Bible says sometimes that when we tolerate the spirit of Jezebel, we are made to lie in a sick bed. And literally every person that I know that is in a narcissistic relationship or a marriage, their health does suffer. And so back then I had started getting a lot of autoimmune symptoms. My face was really puffy and swollen. I had, just gained a lot of weight. Whereas today, my face isn't, quite as puffy. I have lost weight. I lift weights now, just all to take care of myself. But anyway, back to God shifting me and shifting my ministry. I just actually went through the state of Indiana where I live now. I no longer live in Ohio. And I actually started my own ministry. It's called Melissa A Ministries, and it's setting the captives free. And God has actually taken me into women's ministry to help women who are going through abuse or feel like they're just stuck and there's no way to go. And God has said, Melissa, I have called you to women because you have been healed of so much. He goes, I'm going to cause you to help to bring women to healing through your testimony. And so I wanted you guys to know too, so exciting. I did write my first book. So my book is called From Wrecked to Restored. And it's really, the subtitle on that is How God Turned My Mess into a Message. And the last few years, I've been going through a lot of healing, spiritual, mental, emotional, just a wound healing inside of myself. And God really has brought me just through all that trauma and everything that I had gone through. And then I don't know if you all knew this, but my dad, my biological dad, he was also he was a malignant narcissist. And so until he died, until I had turned 14, he was very abusive to me, my mom, and my brothers. And so, a lot of times we go through things, and God has a blessing, in that for us. And a lot of times He'll take the bad things that happen to you and He will turn them around for your good. And that's exactly what He did for me. But I wanted to let you know, my book is in formatting and it is about ready to come out of formatting and it's about to be published. And so my book will be published. It will be on Amazon. So please be looking out for that. Once it comes out, I will do an update here. But I'm not on YouTube too much anymore. I probably need to start coming here a little bit more and just releasing more of my testimony, what God brought me out of, what God brought me through, because there's a lot of you women are just suffering. And God has shown me that Melissa, he's told me, he goes, Melissa, this narcissistic spirit is just really strong in our age right now. If you guys have ever read the book of Revelations, he was speaking to one of the churches, but he goes, I have this one thing against you, and it's that you tolerated the spirit of Jezebel. So we know in the last days, like in the churches, and not even in the churches, it's everywhere. It's in Christian households and it's in non-Christian households. But, people have tolerated that spirit, and I tolerated it. I'll be the first to admit I tolerated it for 17 years because, I had people coming to me saying, Melissa, divorce is a sin, and God hates divorce. And so I was stuck in this emotionally and mentally abusive relationship for 17 years, thinking if I just pray more, if I just pray hard enough, if I just pray every day for who knows how long, God will hear me and my husband he'll be healed, he'll be touched. The spirits will come out, the spirit will come out of him. But in my book, I tell you that I did pray for him 3 years straight. I had a job working at this surgery office. I traveled back and forth to work every day. It was like a 40-minute commute. So when I got in my car every morning, I went immediately into prayer for my now ex-husband. And, one day I was getting ready to pray for him, and the Lord said to me, Melissa, he's like, I want you to stop praying for your husband and turn him over to me. Leave him at the foot of my cross and let me deal with him. And so that day was when I left my ex at the foot of the cross, and I'm like, I just couldn't do this anymore. There was an episode towards the end that happened where he actually broke the wedding topper on our cake. I came out one morning out of my bedroom because, of course, we slept in separate bedrooms. There was no intimacy. But I came out to the kitchen to make my coffee like I normally do, and our wedding topper was laid on the countertop, broken. It had been snapped in half. And there was some things that my mom had gotten me that were also broken and laying on the counter. And if you looked at the wedding topper, like it was a precious moments. I love precious moments back in the day. Some of this older, generation knows about the precious moments. But back in the day, I loved precious moments. And I didn't have a lot of them, but I had a few. And the ladies that I worked with at my job had got me that. So it carried just really special memories for me. And so when I saw that, I asked him, I said, did you break this on purpose? Because the way it had, if you put it together, it just looked like he had wrapped both fists around the woman and another fist around the man, and it looked like he had just snapped it in half, like it was a perfect break. And so he said he got so mad, and that I would even question him if he broke this wedding topper. And he went into just a horrible rage. And his eyes turned black, and I didn't know what to do. So I started speaking in tongues, and those demons in him did not like it. And it started speaking, and it started saying, do you think the way you're speaking is gonna, do anything to me? And I was like, oh my goodness. And I really felt like he was going to become violent. So I went to the bedroom and I locked my door, and I decided in that moment that I was no longer going to stay. I was no longer going to stay with my ex. And I locked the door, and I was laying on the floor, and I was kind of like just in a ball. And I said, you know what, Lord, if you get me out of this marriage, I will serve you the rest of my life. Like no in, no out, no lukewarm. And I will go on to tell my testimony of what you did for me to help other women out. So here we are in 2025, and that dream and what I spoke to the Lord is finally coming to pass. And so I know a lot of people back then, I just basically on my page always just talked about my dreams and visions and things like that. I never spoke about what was going on. It was very, very quiet because, sometimes our abuser, that's what they do. They like to silence us. We don't talk about it, And so I was very silenced in that marriage and in that relationship. But within a few months, the Lord I told him if he opened up the doors to remove me, that I would walk through every door that he opened, and that I would just leave. And so anyway, he opened the doors. I ended up getting extra shifts at work. He opened up so many doors. He even opened up a place for me to live. My brother actually got out of his lease early, and we moved into like a townhouse together. And so financially, he had everything ready for me, even though I was not, I wasn't the breadwinner, but he opened up all those doors. And so now today, I am married to my husband, Jason, and he is a beautiful man of God. We are evenly yoked. And God when I was laying on the floor that day, curled up in a ball, crying, pleading with God to help me get out of that marriage, he said, Melissa, he's like, I'm going to restore to you everything the cankerworm has eaten and has stolen from your life. He's like, I'm going to restore everything. And today he has restored everything, every single thing. Like, I have a beautiful home. I have a husband who is a pilot. I have a full-time surgical position at office that I really like. I wrote my first book, it's about to be published. And eventually I want to start speaking at churches, at women's conventions. So, if you do want to book me, just send me a message. You can either do that through, YouTube, or you can contact me on Facebook. I'll probably get a little bit quicker if you contact me on Facebook. But with that being said, I am also starting a website, and a website is pretty expensive. So I wanted to come on today and ask for you guys if you are free or willing to donate. I really could use some donations to help with that part of my ministry. I have never asked for donations in my ministry at all. But God is doing a new thing in my life, and he is so gracious. And I know that he's going to provide the funds that I need to do this. And so if you guys feel led to support my ministry, to help me, with the website and everything, that would be amazing. But I will actually have it listed so that you can see I have a PayPal and then I have a Cash App. So any donations would be appreciated. $5, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you can feel led to give. That would be amazing. Um, and then I did want to also let you know too. I don't know if I told you this, but my mom ended up getting breast cancer as well. I got it 2 years after she passed. So my mom passed away in August of 2021, and I miss her. And she had always wanted to author a book. She was a writer as well. She was an English lit major in college, and she was a teacher. And so I've actually dedicated my book to her. But I'm just amazed at what God's doing. I trust him with everything that he's doing in my life right now, and it's amazing and crazy at the same time. But I think I finally found my niche, like what I'm supposed to do, like my purpose. And I want to let you guys know too, like all women know that you have a purpose and you have a calling on your life. And if you are currently going through, abuse of any sort, it's like there is hope. I want you to know that there's hope and you have a purpose. And God does heal and God does restore. So anyways, just wanted to come on, give you a life update. It is getting a little long, the video, so I am going to go ahead and cut it off. But I'm just, thank you if you're still here. Even though I haven't done an update in a while, thank you for still being here. Thank you for still being subscribed. And if you are a new subscriber, just hit that follow button and, stay tuned for more updates. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.